Hi friends, let's take a look at Link together. I hope you like my new frame. It's really glorious, isn't it? So this is the Link chart, and this is the Link versus Bitcoin pricing that we're looking at just now. We'll look at the Link versus dollar pricing in just a moment, and I really can be quite brief with this episode today because we've covered everything in quite a bit of detail recently. There's two Fibonacci retracements that I'm looking at overall. We've got this line at 236 if we want to see the positive case coming in there at 84k, and we've got this other 236 coming in at 80,562. So let's just call it 80,500. And the prices right now are 78,000. So if we can see the prices coming back up towards the top end here at where the 236 is, then that would be jolly good. And perhaps they could be able to move up above that 84k area. Then we could see targets towards the top side being struck perhaps along the way. First off, 86,400, call it 86,500. Then the golden pocket area there at 89,000. Let's call it 90,000, shall we? So between 88 and 89,000 up to that 90,000 area, and then the 786 at 92 and the 886 at 94k. If not, then we're looking at the potential for these two next profit taking targets for people who've been shorting it past the breakdown of the 236 at 84k. Of course, your first profit taking target came in there at 75k, and we've been down as low as 77 today. So like we're still having a pretty bearish day. And if we did break down below those lines where they have the we have another Fibonacci number back there as well, then we'd be looking down to the 50% there, perhaps at the 70k area, and thereafter if we do go on past that, which could be part of the overall FOMO coming into the market and whatever else, then you could be looking down to this target here at the 618. If you be sort of your third greediest target here, just in terms of being sort of fairly realistic about the price action as well, despite the fact that of course that's a fairly big chunk of away from where we are now in terms of percentage moves. So there's plenty of trading to be done, as we like to say on the channel, because that's 20% down from here. And if we did move towards the top side, then of course you've got targets which are currently, for instance, up there at 15% above. So if we continue to trend one way or the other, then things could be quite good. So that's an agnostic look at the charts. I suppose I should maybe point out that this was maybe looking a little bit like it was rounding over a little bit, but we came up without the divergence mostly on the bigger time frames, but on the small time frames it was most certainly there. Okay, and that applies over here in terms of the divergence chat on the dollar pricing as well, on the run up to these highs, as you can see here where we put in the divergence on the oscillators down below. We had the symmetrical triangle, broke down out of that, came all the way down, and then in the price actions moving back towards the top side, we came up above the 236 here at $7.50, went high but not as high as the 618 as it happens. We came up above we came up to that $8 price point. It's obviously a significant area. Since then we've retraced back down the way again, but we're currently still just above the 236 as it happens, having wicked in amongst it. The numbers to be aware of here, if we are looking at downward side targets, of course, are 735, 720, 711, and then thereafter there would be other targets further down, but I don't know how much you particularly want to trade this in terms of how big moves that you're looking for. That's certainly more than enough to be getting on with in terms of trading. And if we're looking towards the top side, then the two targets, $8 call it, and then $8.25 thereafter, and that would be decent trading as well to be had, bearing in mind the percentages that you're looking at, because what we do in this channel is trade. That's a good solid 10% up from where we are just now, that move up. So if you had that'd be interesting, but currently we're not seeing things coming in very great looking overall, in terms of we're essentially just trending towards the downside just now, and we need to get above this area here. We should make this kind of like miniature cup handle-esque, but that's not correct because it's the downward, because of this downward sloping movement beforehand, so that wouldn't add up. Just like the ones I talked about in yesterday's episode, I said that they wouldn't work because they don't. I'm not going to draw it. I'm not going to talk about it. Whatever. But we have come down here towards this area. If we move back up above this peak, I think that it just doesn't need to be explained too much. You'd be going up above a fairly significant inflection point there, in terms of this overall what we have on the screen, and we could be looking back up because this area, of course, at the minute is our all-time highs on Chainlink. So let's just see how things go. If we manage to come in here and put in a low, if you were to call this a downward trend in this chunk here, then you'd be looking at the potential for bullish divergence showing up on these oscillators, should the prices turn around. So if they don't, though, then we have to look towards that $7 area. So 711 really, $7.08 closes below there are bearish, closes above above this zone here really at the minute are going to be considered to be bullish, so 810 and above is good. Right, great. That's cool. That's going to do for us. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I've been Rocky Outcrop. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, then go ahead and do that, because I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next episode.